Selamat pagi, it's morning today. Welcome back to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is June 10th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today? It is hazy, really hazy. And the wind speed is 13.1 kilometers per hour. Temperature is 31.2 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 64%. It did not rain last night, thank goodness. And a lot of stuff today as usual, and so let's get right into the numbers. The numbers are a bit of a concern apparently to the government. The numbers are stable, but just over 500 a day. National new cases 556, national recoveries 410, national deaths 7, Bali new cases 19, Bali recoveries 6, Bali deaths 0. And because we're in our second or third day of over 500, there have been some calls from health experts about the government putting back the mask mandate. Oh, boo. Is that going to happen? I don't know. It's just talk right now from some health experts. On the other hand, there are other people saying that by July we should be able to get rid of the mask mandate altogether. So that's just a lot of talk right now. At the moment, what do we have? You don't have to wear a mask outside if you're not in a crowded place, and you do have to wear a mask inside. Government is still pushing vaccinations and trying to get the booster numbers up. The number for the vaccinations of first and second doses is high, and so that is positive. What does all this mean? Well, we're not out of the pandemic yet. We are not into the endemic. Will we get there sometime in the near future? Not clear. And what does that say about tourism in Indonesia? More on Borobudur. As I said the other day, this is hot. Protest abound. Plan to raise Borobudur ticket to rupiah 750,000 delayed. The government has decided to postpone the new ticket price policy. Central Java Governor Ganjar Pranowo met with Pak Luhut the other day, and after the meeting, Central Java Governor said that they agreed to not push the hike up. The governor had previously suggested delaying the ticket price hike because there are several steps to take before it can be implemented, and moreover, many people are protesting the plan. That's an understatement. According to Ganjar, the new ticket price needs to be reviewed by PT Taman Wisata Candi Borobudur Prambanan and Ratu Boko and the Borobudur Conservation Center. So a lot of people need to be brought into this, and apparently they weren't. And let's not forget our old friend, the tourism minister, who was just shown in a poll today to be a leading candidate for president in 2024. Yes, plans to raise Borobudur entry fee postponed, says tourism minister. Our old friend Pak Sandiaga Uno always finds a way to get himself in the news. Pak Uno reassured people that the government's plan to charge steep entry fees in Borobudur has been postponed. He added that it will be further evaluated following inputs from many people, including experts in the field. I hope experts in the field. However, he added that it has been determined that the maximum visit capacity is 1,200 a day, and that is not going to change. That's some good news. Okay, so what do we have? We have the price increase has been delayed, but the cap on people coming in is going to stay. And let's look at one final article on this, and this is an editorial from the Jakarta Post. According to the Jakarta Post, the daily limit of 4,000 during the pandemic was in effect, and it was more restricted than the pre-pandemic days, which was 13,000 visitors a day. And so, wow, 1,200 is a big drop, and the Jakarta Post strongly supports this. The Post noted, but the government's plan to limit public access to precious cultural heritage site does make sense. Back in 2019, President Jokowi already called for restrictions of tourist visits to the temple for preservation concerns. In the past decade, experts have also repeatedly asked the government to limit the number of visitors to the site. And why didn't they do it? I don't know. UNESCO listed Borobudur as a World Heritage Site in 1991. It's been noted that there is a growing rate of deterioration of the building's stone. Tourism also exerts considerable pressure on the site and its surroundings with unsupervised visitors, causing a degree of damage. Many have warned that when we simply focus on increasing the number of visitors, we may ignore the sustainability of tourism destinations and in turn the industry itself. I like this next sentence in there. Limiting tourist stampedes and reckless touches, not to mention the garbage that they bring on the ancient stones of Borobudur, is a step in the right direction. Making visitors pay high except for religious and educational purposes is more than reasonable, as Borobudur's worth is immeasurable. And so that's the Jakarta Post take on the whole situation, and any comments, always welcome here. Okay, let's move on to travel. Batik Air reopens Bali-Melbourne flight. Okay, more flights, cool. Batik Air, a subsidiary of low-cost carrier Lion Air, has officially reopened its Bali-Melbourne route, which was closed due to the pandemic. The international route will start operating on Friday, June 17th, 2022. According to the CEO, Bali is one of the regular destinations for travelers from Melbourne and Kuala Lumpur. The Malaysian-based carrier uses a Boeing 737, and flight routes from Melbourne to Bali will be available every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday starting June 17th, with ticket price of 2,686,050 rupiahs. That seems to me to be pretty cheap. I don't know. Australian viewers want to make a comment on this and let me know if this is cheap or not. Meanwhile, flight routes to Bali from Melbourne will be open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday starting June 18th at the same ticket price. The CEO added that the new route is reopened since air travel sector is recovering and customer demand has increased for Bali-Melbourne flights. Batik Air, he continued, expanded connections to and from Bali by making Igusti Ngurah Rai International Airport an airport hub. Travelers who wish to travel between KL and Melbourne, or those wishing to visit Bali before continuing their journey, can take advantage of this new route, he said. Okay, and so another route here in order to bring some more tourists in. And what about the airport? Bali's Ngurah Rai Airport serves 148,677 domestic passengers. 7 international routes apply for reactivation. Okay, good news there. During the last 7 days, the domestic terminal daily average has reached 21,239 passengers. As for the domestic terminal itself, the most arrivals were on June 1st, 13,114 passengers, and the most departures on June 5th, 14,810 passengers, according to the general manager of the airport managing organization. Meanwhile, for statistical data on passenger movements for the period of May 2022, Ngurah Rai served 1,010,053 passengers with 7,002 aircraft movements. Wow, think about 3 months ago and what's happening now. Not even 3 months ago, 2 months ago. When compared to April 2022, 2 months ago, there was an increase of 73% of passengers and 54% of aircrafts. The general manager said that the international passenger movement traffic for the same period, the 1st to the 7th of June, 73,446 passengers with a daily average of 10,492. It was not too long ago, how many weeks ago, when it was 4,000, 3,000 before that, 2,000 before that. We're up to 10,000 international passengers a day. Wow. When asked about how many international flights will be added to Ngurah Rai in June, he said that 7 airlines have submitted applications for the reactivation of routes. What are those 7 airlines? Well, a couple of them actually have already been done. There's Indonesia Air Asia Singapore route, Jetstar Airways route Perth, Cairns, and Singapore, Philippine Air Asia route Manila, Vietjet Air via Hanoi, already running, CityLink Indonesia route Dili, Batik Air Kuala Lumpur, already running, and Virgin Australia Sydney. So getting easier and easier to get here. And one final segment on travel. Garuda Indonesia, this is not a good one. 10% hike in airfare follows government regulation. The flag carrier's president director stated that the increase in airfares for scheduled commercial flights averaged 10% of the upper limit fare, and it's based on global price of aviation fuel. He said, "We've never raised our tariffs outside of the regulations of the Transportation Ministry," so covering his you-know-what. The decision was made because the company imposed a fuel surcharge and additional fee applied at certain times, such as peak season. Other than setting the airfare for economy class, it also regulated propeller airlines. As for business class tickets, he said it depends on the market price. There's no rule regarding the price cap of business class airfares, so you can expect those to go up. So bad news for those of us traveling domestically on Garuda. The fares are going to go up, but we do have a lot of budget airlines here that can be used. And the issue of foot and mouth disease is starting to show up more and more frequently in the news. Government urged to declare foot and mouth disease pandemic. Chairman of the Garuda Party faction, DP Air, asked the government to establish a task force for containing foot and mouth disease in livestock and provide assistance to farmers to minimize the losses caused by the outbreak. He added that the foot and mouth disease outbreak, which has caused hundreds of deaths of cattle, should be declared a pandemic, as it's already harmed farmers. He said the government should take action immediately. Muslims will soon celebrate Eid al-Adha, and an enormous amount of livestock is needed to fulfill the annual festival of sacrifice, known as Korban. He further asserted that the government must also ensure that sacrificial animals such as cows, buffalo, and goats are healthy and free from disease for public consumption. And one final segment. Sukawati Traditional Art Market, Reborn. The Sukawati Traditional Art Market in Bali's Regency at Gianyar has been transformed with the completion of Block C, the market complex. Okay, I've never been there. The completion of Block C complements Block A and Block B, which opened in 2020. The Minister for Public Works and Housing said that rebuilding the traditional art market prioritized the local architecture of Bali because the complex operators not only see this as an economic center, but also as a tourism destination for the Regency of Gianyar. In case you haven't been there, and I haven't, I had to look this up on a map, and if I have the map here, I put it right here. The Sukawati Traditional Art Market stands on the main tourism thoroughfare from South Bali to Ubud and Kintamani. And so if I ever get down that way again, I'm not going to do it with all the tourists coming in now, I have to stop by and see what this place looks like. The underlying concept of the market's revitalization has been done to comply with its function as a tourism destination. In keeping with the environmental concerns and local traditions, details starting from the planning of the market through its actual construction honor the principles of creating an environmentally green building. Block C is 4 stories high and includes a basement covering 10,206 square meters of space. The Block C market is home to 529 stands, 64 kiosks, and parking for 279 two-wheel vehicles, that is motorcycles. The building was constructed to allow use by disabled workers and visitors. Cool. And the shopping complex also features public toilets, lifts, nursing rooms, a health center, and a children's play area. Wow, okay, I've got to see this. This sounds pretty interesting. The governor of Bali said that in terms of its physical construction, the Sukawati market is outstanding with good lighting and excellent air circulation, making air conditioning unnecessary. He said, "I want the traders working here to sell products made in Bali, shirts made in Bali, Balinese sarongs, and bags made in Bali. All that is sold here should drive the economy of Bali." And so if you're down on Ubud, well, there's a place to visit, and if you've been there, leave a comment. That's it for today. Wrap this up, and it is Friday. If you found this video interesting, informative, helpful, amusing, non-irritating, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Videos are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and a cooking video on Sunday with my wife. Thanks for viewing. Stay safe. Be kind to someone today, and I will see you on Sunday.